Okay, seat yourself onto your lift and then come into a good cross-legged position. Just gauging your balance. Where is my lift? There it is. Gauging your balance. Just assessing how you are sitting. Hold on to your knees. Lift up into the chest. Elevate the heart area up to the ceiling. So, I hadn't switched my microphone on, that's why it's probably a bit quiet. So hopefully you'll be able to hear me better now. So I'm not very organised this morning, obviously. Hold on to your knees, lift up into the chest, and consciously draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Look down at the floor, look at something that doesn't move. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Focus on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations, filling both lungs evenly. And long, slow, deep exhalations, exhaling from both lungs evenly. Soften your jaw, soften your tongue, soften your throat. Just keeping your eyes really still in the sockets. And then release your knees. Bring your hands into Namaste. Press the palms firmly together. Lengthen from your armpits into your elbows into the heels of your hands, the heels of your hands into the fingertips. And then with an exhalation, allow your eyes to gently close. Focus on filling the lungs evenly and emptying them evenly. Listening to the sound of the breath as it enters and as it exits. With an exhalation, draw your chin down to meet your chest, lift your chest up to meet your chin. Just spend a moment to seek to generate a genuine, heartfelt sense of gratitude for something or someone or somewhere. Hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then release the backs of your hands down towards your knees, palms facing upwards. Just hold on to that feeling of abundance in the heart area, and then raise your head. Allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Hold on to your knees. Elevate the heart area upwards and draw your shoulders down away from your ears. Take a deep inhalation in through the nose. And then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen across and your ribs and your shoulders. Just bring evenness to the seat bones. Turn your abdomen from the left to the right, the ribs and the shoulders, and draw your attention into the breath. Draw your attention into the breath to draw your attention into the present. So if you're finding that your mind is distracted, then consciously follow your breath. Because every breath is unique and happening right now. Draws us into the present moment. Come back to the center. Hold on to your knees, lift up into your chest. And then with an exhalation, turn to the left. Again, just turning with the abdomen, turning with the ribs, turning with the shoulders. And then gently come back to the center. Come off your lift and then sit back on your heels, big toes together, your knees apart. Just draw your shins into the floor. Consciously press the shin bones into the shin skin so that the thighs activate. And then you can elevate the heart area. Elevating the heart area, coming forwards, lengthening forwards. Pressing back onto your heels, extending into your arms. Pressing the seat bones down on the heels. Just listening to the sound of the inhalation, the sound of the exhalation. Listening to the sound of the inhalation and the exhalation. Focusing on the sound of the inhalation, the evenness of the inhalation, and the sound of the exhalation, and the evenness of the exhalation. When I say evenness, when you fill the lungs on both sides evenly, when you empty them both sides evenly. So just drawing your attention into the present moment. Just bring your arms to the sides of the body in traditional child's pose. So just feel that you can
press the arms into the floor. There will be some gentle pressure on the forehead. If it's too heavy on the forehead, then consciously lengthen from the shoulders into the fingertips. But again, this pressure on the forehead helps to quieten the brain. Helps to draw your attention into the present moment, into the physical present moment. And stretch out your arms again. Stretching into Adho Mukha, virasana, hitting back on your heels. Just come up onto your knees, turn your toes under, have your hands as wide apart as the mat, your feet as wide apart as the mat. And then come up into dog down, just feel how the body responds to the pose this morning. That response to the pose, the physical resistance, the physical freedom, all of these things, the breath, the physical body's response to the pose, they will bring our attention into the present. Because these are things that are happening right now. So observe them, and it draws our attention into the present moment. Just listen to the breath, listen to the inhalation, listen to the exhalation. Press the fronts of the knees through to the backs of the knees, tightening the kneecaps. Press the fronts of the thighs through to the backs of the thighs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. That's the action of the legs for many of the standing poses. Turning the fronts of the thighs inwards so that you can feel the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. If you turn the fronts of the thighs enough, then the heels start to separate. Okay, step your feet forwards, come up into standing position, and then get a couple of blocks for your hands, and then bring your feet as wide apart as the mat. Make sure that your toes are in line with each other. Bring your heels out to the edge of the mat. Feel that they're on the edge of the mat. Have your hands on your hips, lift up into the chest, squeeze the elbows together. And then keeping the head lifted, keeping the back straight. Come forwards, hinging at the hips. And then reach down and find the blocks beyond the fingertips. Tighten your kneecaps, turn the fronts of your thighs inwards, lift the seat bones. Project the chin and the chest forwards. Lift the kneecaps, lift the thighs. Just observe your internal balance of action. If you can go down lower without disturbing your internal balance of action, then do. If you've got a bad back, it's better to stay at the higher lift, but just feel that for yourself. You can reach down to the floor, then do, but not at the expense of losing the connection. Losing that internal balance of action. By internal balance of action, I mean that the legs feel like they are mirror images of each other in terms of how you are lifting the legs out of the floor. You're tightening the kneecaps, you're lifting the fronts of the thighs up to the top of the leg, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards, hitting the weight back into your heels. And the weight is in the centre of the heel. Projecting the chin and the chest deeply forwards. So that the shoulder blade region kind of sucks inwards towards the front chest. Bring your hands into your hips, bend your knees on the way up, and then come up into
into a standing position, just come back into Tadasana. Just breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, just feeling that you can bring your Tadasana, the same action that you used in the legs in dog down and uttanasana, bring it into Tadasana, tightening the kneecaps, activating the thighs, lifting them to the top of the leg, turn the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the backs of the thighs broaden outwards. Tuck the tailbone in, draw the abdomen to the spine, lift the heart area, draw the shoulders down away from your ears. Bring your arms out nice and wide in toward your chest, and then step or jump your feet nice and wide. Turn your left toes in, the right leg and foot all the way out, and then consciously turn the legs the opposite way. So you don't turn the legs inwards for these sideways facing poses, you turn the legs outwards. Turn the front of the thigh outwards, turn the back thigh outwards. And then reach down, find the shin. Again, just allowing how the pose feels for you this morning. Just allow you to bring your attention into the present moment. I feel really stiff today for some reason. But you don't judge that, you just observe it. Observe where there is resistance, observe at the same time where there is freedom. Just listen to the breath. If you can look up, then it helps to clear the sinuses. Keep drawing the abdomen to the ceiling, drawing the chest to the ceiling. Reaching upwards to that top hand. Do you remember the other week when we had the belt behind the back? We're stretching the belt out. Can you activate your arms in that way? Reach up, come back to the center, swap your feet around, turn your right toes in, and the left leg and foot all the way out. Tighten the kneecaps, turn the fronts of the thighs from the inside out, turn the back leg from the inside out. Reach down, try and keep the left side of the trunk as long as the right side of the trunk. Looking up, observing how it feels on this side. Does it feel more resistant or less resistant? Is there more or less freedom? Focus on the breath at the same time as the physical pose. Again, just drawing your attention into the physical body. So from here we're going to come back down into dog down. So bring that top hand down onto the, you might need to bend the leg onto the big toe side of the left foot. Bring the other hand on the little toe side of the foot, turn the back leg out, and then step yourself back into dog down. And just feel your dog down. Feel how the Adho Mukha Svanasana is different. Maybe there's more space. Have the feet hip width apart, have the hands shoulder width apart. Just feel the pose from the inside. Just listening to the breath. Observing where there is resistance, where there is freedom, where there's firmness, where there's idleness. Just scan the body for response. From here,
we're going to go down into rajakapotasana. So you might not want to come into it from dog down, and that's fine. If you don't want to come into it from dog down, then you come down onto all fours. Just have the hands underneath the shoulders, your knees underneath your hips, and then you just follow the rest of the instructions from the rest of for the rest of the pose. If you come into it from dog down, then just be in your dog down for a moment, and then bend your knee, and then bring your right knee forwards to make contact with the right wrist, and then bring the left leg down. Stretch that left leg away, so the right knee is in contact with the right wrist, the foot is underneath the left thigh or the left hip. Come up onto the fingertips. Turn that back leg, the straight leg, turn it like you're doing Tadasana. Turn the front of the thigh inwards so that you feel the back of the thigh broaden outwards, so that you feel that the hips come level beyond the fingertips, and then lengthen the abdomen up to the ceiling. Lengthen the abdomen to the ceiling, lift the chest, draw the shoulders down away from your ears. If you can lift your chin, then do. Elevating the heart area up to the ceiling. Push your knees away from each other. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, keeping the breath conscious and even. And then bring the palms down onto the floor. Turn your toes in of that back leg if you're going back into dog down. Well, actually, don't turn them in anyway. And then either step forwards with that back leg, go back onto all fours, or turn the toes under that back leg, and then push yourself back up into dog down. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to breath. Okay, come down onto your knees if you're coming into it from your knees. Otherwise, bend your left knee, swing the left knee forwards to make contact with the left wrist. Bring the left foot underneath the right thigh, and then stretch that right leg away beyond the fingertips. Turn that back leg like you're doing Tadasana. Keep that back leg straight if you can. Turn the front of the thigh inwards so the back of the thigh broadens outwards, so that it brings the hip along with it. And then lift from the abdomen to the diaphragm, to the collarbone, to the chin. Staying consciously engaged with the breath. Turn the crease of the elbows to face the front, to face forwards. And then bring the palms flat. Turn your toes under that back foot, and then either back onto all fours or back up into dog down. Just coming back into dog down. Just listening to the breath. Turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. Pressing the fronts of the thighs consciously through to the backs of the thighs, so that you lengthen the armpit chest. Dog down is really good for the liver, really good for strengthening the shoulders, really good for the immune system, because it's almost an inversion. Just a very gentle inversion. Helps to quieten the brain, helps to focus the brain on the breath. Okay, come down onto your knees. Sit back on your heels for a moment. Just observe how your energy has changed, how you get waves of energy when you come out of the pose. And then come forwards, hinging at the hips, stretching forwards, lengthening into the hands. And then bring the forehead down. Press the seat bones into the heels, stretch the arms away. Just listen to the sound of the inhalation, the sound of the exhalation. And then just again release the arms to the sides of the body, just coming into the traditional child's pose, just letting your forehead press into the floor. Again, if it's too heavy on the head, then consciously lengthen from the shoulders into the fingertips, just distributing some of the weight away from the head. Okay, bring your hands underneath your shoulders, push yourself up into a seated position. Just again, just acknowledging your energy, acknowledging how your energy brings you into the present moment. Okay, and then just sit directly onto the mat. So just stretch your legs out in front. Stretch your legs out in front, and then just come into dandasana. So you can have your feet slightly apart. If you've got a belt handy, then grab a belt. So take it out of a loop if it's in a loop. So just roll over, move the buttock flesh out to the sides. If at this stage you're kind of really struggling to lift the chest, if you roll back like this, then sit yourself onto a folded blanket. So sit on a folded blanket. We're all going to do that in a minute anyway, but let's just see how it feels without, if you can. Otherwise, sit on the blanket. Have the hands at the sides of the hips, lift up into the chest, and then raise your arms up. So activate your legs like you are in Tadasana, tighten in the kneecaps, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. So you'll feel the backs of the calves definitely kind of sliding away from each other on the mat or on the floor. Breathe in through the nose and out through the nose. And then release. So if you weren't using a black blanket to sit on, I want you to try it. So sit on a folded blanket and then come back into dandasana. Just roll over, move the buttock flesh out to the sides, and then have the hands at the sides of the hips. Just make sure that you feel level so that your back blanket is folded evenly, and then raise your arms over your head again. Just observe that just sitting on that blanket just gives you extra elevation in the spine. Consciously press the thighs down onto the floor like someone's standing on them, turning them inwards, keeping the kneecaps tightened, lifting from the hip up into the armpit. Breathing even, deep inhalations and exhalations. So virasana, dandasana. Just get the legs to really firmly press down into the floor, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards. And then release your arms. Okay there, Jill? Yeah. Okay. Bring your legs in to baddha konasana. Pull the feet in towards the body. Hold on to the big toes and lift up into the chest. Now, sometimes I find when I'm sitting on a lift, holding onto the big toes feels a little restrictive here. It's really hard to lift to the full capacity. So if you're feeling that as well, then slide the belt underneath the feet. Just hold onto the belt as close to the feet as you can, and then just lift up. Press the feet into the belt or into the floor if you're holding onto the big toes, and elevate the heart area up to the ceiling. Draw the lumbar spine forwards towards the belly button. Press the heels consciously together and lift from the hips and up into the armpits. Drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Make sure that you've got space in the armpit chest to expand, so give yourself a bit more space. If you're clamped in like this, then it restricts the breath. So have the elbows bending out to the sides. Just listening to the breath. Focusing on long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Pushing the heels together. Lifting the heart area to the ceiling. Breathing in and out through the nose, long, slow, deep, deliberate inhalations and exhalations. Feeling that the breath brings you into the present moment. So sometimes it can be difficult to focus the mind. So in those cases, we draw our attention back to the breath. We feel the chest expand with the inhalation. We feel the chest relax with the exhalation. We feel the intercostal muscles between the ribs expand with the inhalation. We feel them relax with the exhalation. We feel the abdomen expand with the inhalation and contract with the exhalation. Drawing towards the spine. So just allow yourself to observe your breath. Just bringing your attention into the present moment. Try not to allow external thoughts in. Just be in the moment with the pose. Okay, and then just release the belt and stretch your leg down the front. So have a couple of blocks where you can reach them, and then we're going to stay sitting on the lift, and then we're going to bring legs wide apart for upavistha konasana. So staying on the lift just gives us again a bit of a extension boost for the spine. Have the blocks in front of you where you can reach them, and just make sure that you kind of roll onto the front edge of the seat bones, that you draw the back of the thighs, kind of you roll them outwards a little. So the fronts of the legs turn consciously inwards. Tadasana legs, turning the fronts of the thighs inwards so that the big toes point to the ceiling rather than to the wall behind you. So turn the legs all the way up into the hip socket. If you've got the belt handy, and get the belt and then just pull it so that it's about shoulder width apart. You can go slightly wider if you've got stiff shoulders. And then raise your arms up and over your head, pulling firmly on the belt. Keep activating the legs, keep the thighs turning inwards, keep the kneecaps pressing down to the floor, lengthen from the hip into the heel, pull the toes towards the kneecaps. Keep rotating
the inner knees down towards the floor. Lift from the hips up into the armpits, up into the arms. So breathe in through the nose and out through the nose, pull in on the belt firmly. So straight arms. If you struggle to straighten your arms, just pull the belt, let the belt go wider. So Ian, see if you can make the belt go wider and see if you can straighten your arm. Lift up into the chest, elevating the heart area upwards, rolling onto the front edge of the seat bones. Just feeling that the seat bones feel evenly placed, or is there more weight on one than on the other? Just work to observe and correct if that's the case. Okay, and then release your arms. Release your arms, bring your hands to the sides of the hips and lift up into the chest. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Bring your hands forward. So if you've got a bad back, you might not want to come forward. So you can just either bring your arms back up, using the belt if necessary, or you can just stay at this stage, just lifting up rather than coming forwards. It can be quite strong. If you can, come forwards just a little bit at a time, just incrementally coming forward. Stay on the fingertips on the blocks. Keep the abdomen lifting from the diaphragm to the collarbone to the chin. Keep the legs firmly pressing down into the floor. So just coming forwards a little bit at a time, just being mindful of your back, drawing the belly button towards the spine to support the lumbar, lifting up into the chest. So just a little bit at a time coming forwards, staying on the fingertips when you come forwards, never rounding the back, never trying to bring the head down to the floor before the chest. If you can bring the blocks down lower, then do. If you can reach down to the floor, then do. But the closer to the floor you get, the more taxing it is on the lower back. So just be conscious of your own lower back. Press the legs really firmly into the floor, especially the thighs, especially the calves, the knees. Okay, and then just gently come back to the center. Bring the hands into the sides of the hips. And then just bring the blocks out of the way, bend your knees, and then bring the feet back into baddha. Holding onto the big toes, or using the belt, or even holding onto the shins. I always think this is a nice way to do it as well. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Feeling how you can open the inner groin by lengthening from the inner groin into the inner knee. So lengthening the inner groin into the inner knee around to the outer knee, the outer knee down the outside of the shin, outside of the calf, down into the heels. From the outer heel into the inner heel, from the inner shin into the inner knee, from the inner knee to the outer knee, from the outer knee up into the hip. So you keep that figure of 8 action working within the legs, lengthening the inner legs to the outer legs, stretching down into the outer heel, from the outer heel to the inner heel, along the inner leg, around to the outer leg, and up into the hip. And then that kind of cycle just continues. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. Keeping your attention on the present moment. How the pose feels for you right now. Okay, just bring the legs into swastikasana or half padmasana, whichever is most appropriate for you. So just normal cross legs, or if half padmasana is possible for you, then half padmasana. Hold onto your knees and lift the heart area up to the ceiling, drawing your shoulders down away from your ears. Look down at the floor, look at something that doesn't move. Lifting from the hips up into the armpits. Just breathing in through the nose and out through the nose, listening to the breath. Take a deep inhalation and then turn to the right side, drawing your abdomen from the left to the right. Drawing your abdomen and your ribs. Try not to turn with your neck. Have your chin in line with the front of the chest. Draw the abdomen across, the ribs across, the shoulders across. And then gently come back to the center. Hold onto your knees, lift the heart area up to the ceiling, and then turn to the left. Abdomen from the right to the left, ribs, the shoulders, just digging the backhand into the floor, lifting the heart area up to the ceiling. Breathing in through the nose and out through the nose. And then gently come back to the center. Just holding onto your knees, lifting up into your chest. Just feeling how your body has changed, how your energy has changed, how maybe where there was tension, hopefully there is less. And then just stretch your legs out, come down, just directly down onto the floor, and just pull your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side and from top to bottom. Just get your bolster, if you've got one. If you haven't, you can use some cushions. Just pull the knees in towards you, lift the shins in towards you, lift the seat bones, and then bring your back, your lower back onto the bolster. Just feel how the pose just softens the back. Just come right up onto the tops of the shoulders. And then just lengthen your arms, not lengthen your arms, have your hands together and rest your arms on the floor over your head. Try not to drop the chest, keep the shoulder blades gathering together, keep the shoulder blades drawing towards the front chest. And then gently allow the body to just gently rest into the floor. So a restorative bridge pose, a little bit like Setu Bandha, but without the deep extension. Just sitting in the position using the bolster. Just letting the back relax into the pose. Just letting the arms relax. Letting the neck relax. Just keeping the chest very gently lifted.
Release your arms, just bring your hands onto the bolster and then bend your knees in towards your chest and then raise your legs up in viparita karanhi, just pressing the legs up towards the ceiling, so consciously activating the legs this time rather than just being passive. Keep the chest lifted, stay on the tops of the shoulders, keeping the sacrum spine connected to the bolster, pushing the heels to the ceiling, turning the fronts of the legs inwards like you do in tadasana. So consciously keep lifting the chest, gathering the shoulder blades together. Okay, and then just gently bend your knees, bring your feet back onto the floor, lift the seat bones, roll the bolster away so that it's underneath your knees, and then just bring a folded blanket for underneath your head. Just move the equipment out of the way so you can stretch out. Just make sure you're in a good straight line, and then allow yourself to relax into the floor. Soften the jaw and the tongue and the throat. Fill your lungs from the bottom to the top. Empty them from the top to the bottom. Just let the body relax into the floor with the out breath. Observe the physical lightness inside the physical body. That sensation of energetic lightness radiating from the bones into the muscles, into the flesh, to the skin, into the organs. That positive energy radiating from the bones and into the muscles and into the organs and into the flesh and the skin. Relaxing into the floor, allowing that energy to flow down to the toes, into the fingertips and up into the top of the head, using the breath to distribute it. And when you're ready to disturb yourself, just wriggle your toes, wriggle your fingers, bringing yourself back into this pose of Shavasana. And then bend your knees, bring your feet apart on the bolster, the knees together, just gently rest your back into the floor. And then draw your knees in towards your chest. Just have a little rock from side to side, from top to bottom. And then roll over onto your right side, stay down for a breath or two. And then straighten out the top leg, come back up into a seated position. Just cross your legs, your hands in the masti, just a final spinal lift. Draw your breath in through your nose and down into the abdomen. Just be conscious of the energy that you've released through your practice this morning. That good, positive, healthy flow of clean energy that the extensions, the forward bends and the twists and the inversions bring to the body and to the mind. And then draw your chin forwards and down to make contact with the chest, lifting the chest up to make contact with the chin. Just spend a moment to acknowledge the positive energy you've created inside. And then send some of that positive energy out into the world. And release the backs of your hands down toward your knees. Palms facing upwards. Just bring the tip of the index finger together with the tip of your thumb. And then as you raise your head, allow your eyes to softly open and the focus to softly come back. Thank you very much. Thank you. So hopefully you feel that you've really given yourself a good old stretch and really lifted your energy. So hopefully you feel like you really energise yourself. So thank you very much for